Welcome back to another episode of MotoGP Mac, and today we're going to talk about the race that just happened for the Qatar Grand Prix. Now, before we get into it, here's how it finished. Marc Marquez won it from Maverick Vinales, Pecco Bagnaia, Franco Morbidelli, Johan Zarco, Fermin Aldeguer, Alex Marquez, Fabio Quartararo, Pedro Acosta, Marco Bezzecchi, Luca Marini, Enea Bastianini, Alex Rins, Brad Binder, Aya Agura, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Raul Fernandez, and Samkit Chantra was the last one across the line. Jorge Martin crashed heavily. Augusto Fernandez crashed. Joan Mir retired to the pits, as did Jack Miller. So when the race got underway, there was a little bit of a tension at the start. You know, Alex did touch Marc, allowing Morbidelli through, but, you know, Marc looked... I won't say nervous, but the bike didn't look gelled. And, you know, as we've come to find out that the best time to attack Marc Marquez is in the early laps, to which the riders did. You know, Marc then, though, he just sat there patient. And, you know, towards the end of the race, his lap times were absolutely unbelievable. So, you know, he passed Maverick and it was done deal from then. There was no looking back, you know, setting fastest laps after fastest laps. You know, really, really strategic, good race from Marc. Probably one of the best races that I've seen Marc actually do. Maverick Vinales, you know, what has happened here? Yes, he's won at this track. I get it, that it's a favourite of this track, but he's outperformed every other KTM massively. I have heard some major rumours about the KTM, and I will talk about them in tomorrow's podcast. Pecco Bagnaia, for me, he did a really, really good race. Probably one of the best races that I've seen from Pecco. Super aggressive at the start, super aggressive through it. However, a couple of laps to go, maybe with 8 laps or 9 laps to go, you could see that he'd used way too much tyre and was never really going to get past Maverick. But again, you know, credit to Pecco. Normally, Pecco would push past it and crash. Took his medicine, took the points home. Franco Morbidelli, you know, when I was looking at it, probably one of the ones that I thought would challenge Marc today, but he just didn't have it. He did get into the lead, but he did slip backwards. Johan Zarco, outstanding race from Zarco, have to admit it. You know, really didn't think were this deep into the top 10 at this track, but he did do a really good race. Fermin Aldeguer, again, really solid. You know, at times you forget this young lad is a rookie, but super aggressive. Really loved it. Alex Marquez, probably the villain of the race this weekend. If you talk to VR46, you know, he did touch off Marc. Now, I don't actually think this one was Alex's fault with the touch off Marc. Marc did run wide at the first corner and was coming back onto the line, and Alex really had nowhere to go. However, the incident with Fabio Di Gianantonio, he did suffer a ride-through for irresponsible riding. And, you know, it's something very strange. I don't think he would have tried a move like that on Marc, if I'm very honest. So I'm not sure why he did even attempt it. But, you know, suffered the long lap, but still 7th place overall in today's race, you know, breaking his second place runs. So it is, I suppose... You know, both Marquez brothers now have the blemish on the results list. But overall, look, not a bad weekend for Alex Marquez. Fabio Quartararo wasn't able to repeat his heroics of yesterday, but still a really good showing. Pedro Acosta, again, you know, rumours are circling around about what's going on in KTM. As I mentioned, I will fill you in the podcast tomorrow. But, you know, solid ride out of him. Second best KTM out there. Marco Bezzecchi, again, solid, but, you know, not amazing. Luca Marini, this is where I thought Honda would be in and around, so not a bad result for him. Same for Enea Bastianini, kind of surprised a little bit, thought he would be a bit further back, but, you know, before people turn around and go, yeah, well, I don't know what you're talking about, why Maverick wasn't up there. You know, Bastianini did win around here also, does like the track, but it's not getting on with the bike enough. Alex Rins, you know, he does need to be a little bit closer to Fabio if he wants to keep his seat for next year. Brad Binder, similar to Enea Bastianini and Pedro Acosta. I will update on that. Aya Agura did slip back throughout the race. did definitely suffer with the tyres. But saying that, look, he's definitely marked his card on a future champion or a future front runner for sure. Fabio Di Giannantonio, very lucky actually to stay on the bike in the clash with Alex Marquez. Definitely, in my view, would have been one of the ones that could have put pressure on Marc for the race win today. Should have gone into the late laps if he was at the front. Raul Fernandez started 17th, finished 17th. Probably still looking up his black book of excuses now to why, but at least he was closer to his teammate who actually fell backwards. And Samkit Chantra, again, not really shining and doing anything major, but not doing anything wrong either. I am pretty worried though about Jorge Martin. Did have a big off, did look like he caught the right hand again. So it's risk and reward in one of these things, and again, it does look like he could be in a little bit of trouble. Last I've heard is that he was going to the medical center for a checkup. Overall, look, I thought we were, I suppose, a little bit robbed of a really good race this weekend with Pecco's poor qualifying. I really would have loved to seen what would have happened should Pecco have been towards the front, even first or second row, started a bit too far back to really have a go and used up way too much tyre. We're off to Jerez next, where most people believe the championship does start for Pecco. So it will be interesting to see what happens for the next few races. Overall, though, it's very hard to pick a rider of the day. Marc's ride was brilliant. Pecco making up 8 places. The only one that did that also was Bastianini. Maverick Vinales. Johan Zarco as well. Look, there's an awful lot of surprises in there. I'll let you pick your own rider of the day. For me, we were very lucky to be treated to a really, really good race this weekend. But I would definitely love to know your thoughts. Definitely leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video.